Third down and 20.
I'll tell you what. The first thing that just jumps off of the film when you're looking at the Browns offense is just the simple fact that everything has improved. There is not a position group on that Browns offense that is not playing better than the beginning of the season. That's just a fact. And let's just start off with, I think, the group that has improved the most, and that is the tight end play for this football team. This team has 3 tight ends that could probably start, and if not start, play on every single team in the NFL. My Steelers could probably use one of these Browns tight ends right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's truly insane. Jarvis Landry, alongside of the other receivers, has stepped up and become that receiver that they paid him to be once again. During the beginning of the season, we saw some uncharacteristic drops from a player that is one of the more sure-handed receivers, at least I thought, coming into the season.
Yeah.
Now you got guys like Rashard Higgins stepping up, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and they're making plays. The O-line, they have a great group of offensive linemen. And I think one of the better guys for them to step up this year has been Wyatt Teller. Wyatt Teller, the first game against the Ravens, he struggled a little bit, especially run blocking. But after that, the guy's been lights out. Jedrick Wills, their rookie tackle, looks unbelievable as a rookie left tackle in the National Football League. And the rest of their group has just been playing really, really well. And the second thing I want to get into with the Browns is Kevin Stefanski. I'll give you credit, Steve. I'll give you a ton of credit. You really like this Kevin Stefanski hire. You thought coming into the season, this Browns really had playoff chances and were a playoff group. And you were right. Even after week 1, you didn't give up on this team. You didn't give up on Baker Mayfield. And you were still harping. It's just week 1. Let's just let these Browns figure it out. Kevin Stefanski's going to figure it out. And he definitely figured it out. And one of the things that the Browns do that I just love is their formations and personnel usage. I think that Kevin Stefanski right now is using formations and personnel groupings better, if not the best, of any coach in the league right now, especially with how he uses these tight ends and his running backs, the real meat of this football team. So what I saw on film a lot is that the Browns come in with a lot of 3 tight end sets, right? They have, to the right of the screen here, they have 3 tight ends. And when you see that coming off the sideline, right, okay, we have 3 tight ends coming into the game, a big receiver in Donovan Peoples-Jones and Nick Chubb. It screams run, right? And they line up with this just 9 guys on the line of scrimmage, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they do a ton of this, motioning it out tight ends. And now all of a sudden, when you're a defense, this is like 3-by-1 set. And every single one of these tight ends, Hooper, Njoku, Harrison Bryant, are all pretty damn good receivers. You know, all of these guys are pretty good at catching the football, with an all-pro caliber running back with Nick Chubb and a big-ass receiver in Donovan Peoples-Jones. And it's just creating these binds for defenses that is just annoying to guard because you have a giant group of guys out there. You can run the ball with Nick Chubb. I mean, you could run the ball without having giant-ass tight ends. You know, you could replace these guys with receivers. But what they're doing is just not letting teams get away with playing more defensive backs, which is really popular in the NFL right now. They're kind of zagging while everyone's zigging. Everyone's going, oh, let's get more receivers on the field. Let's get receiving tight ends. Let's get pass-catching running backs, fast running backs. Browns, they're combining old school football with these new school principles where they're saying, hey, we'll go with the receiving tight ends, but every single one of our damn tight ends is a great blocker. Every one of these guys can catch the football. And we have great running backs that are extremely versatile, and we can pound the rock. And we throw a 6'4" receiver on the other side as well. And it just is opening up so many doors for this offense. So right now, they motion these guys out. You have no idea as a defense what they're doing. Okay, they run the ball with Nick Chubb here. But let's go later in the drive. Same thing. 3 tight ends here on the left side. All-pro running back in Nick Chubb and Donovan Peoples-Jones, 6'4" receiver. I'm pretty sure he's 6'4".
He's big.
And they're really utilizing this motion and changing these formations to keep defenses on their heels. If you're going by the personnel groupings, when you see these guys run onto the field, you would not guess that from this personnel grouping, these 3 tight ends, a big receiver, Nick Chubb, they don't have Jarvis Landry on the field. They don't have Rashard Higgins on the field. 2 guys that you can argue are their best receivers. Not even Kareem Hunt, who is a better receiving back than Nick Chubb. And then they go 5 wide. As a defense, you're just always on your heels. You have no idea what this Browns offense is going to do with the football. And you have to prepare for everything. They could line up with a bunch of receivers and then run the ball. They can line up with a bunch of tight ends and blocking receivers and throw the football. What do you do as a defense? And right here, not only is it tough to guard and tough to plan for, when you do all these motions and changing formations, especially with these bigger personnel, it gives away what the defense is doing. Right here, you can see split safeties. Baker knows that he's going to have some space in the middle of the field. He's able to just pick and choose what side he wants to go to pre-snap, and he hits Donovan Peoples-Jones on a wide open slant that was unfortunately dropped. It would have been a touchdown.
Yeah, walk in.
And the Browns have just been doing this to everyone. And it's working. They are lighting up the scoreboard week in and week out. They put up over 40 points against the Titans, who don't necessarily have the best defense, but putting up 40 points against any defense is a tremendous, tremendous offensive day. They put up over 40 points against the Ravens. You know, they've been absolutely lighting up the scoreboard with an offense that when they lost Odell Beckham, everyone was expecting to be completely crap, to be completely honest. Everyone was calling Baker Mayfield a bust, saying that this team can only run the football. But they are doing way more than just running the football. And it really starts with Stefanski and his plan of attacking defenses and keeping them on their heels. And it's giving Baker a platform to succeed. It's giving him a clear plan to succeed as a quarterback. Not only are they lighting up the scoreboard, this team is much better on third down. They are great with turnovers. They are winning the turnover battle. Baker Mayfield is not throwing interceptions. And it's just truly unbelievable what Stefanski has done compared to what they were doing week 1.
Yeah. Quick little stat on their third down success this year. They're hitting at 45% for the whole year. That's up from 36% last year under Freddie Kitchens. But their last 3 games are hitting at the league's best at 58.5%. And, you know, and especially last week against the Giants, too, they were at 69%. So this team, if they're in any kind of third down spot, I mean, more than likely they're going to convert that because they're doing it at such crazy numbers. I mean, you look at the 3 teams with like the best third down conversions in the last month. It goes Browns, Buffalo, and Baltimore, and that's the 3 hottest teams in the league, in my opinion.
It's winning football. How do you win football games? You score in the red zone. Browns have been scoring a whole lot of red zone possessions. You convert on third down and keep your offense on the field. They've been doing it as the league's best the past 4 weeks. And you don't turn the ball over. Baker Mayfield has barely thrown interceptions in the past month and a half. 2 months, actually.
Yeah,
this is winning football, guys. You don't have to be Patrick Mahomes to do this kind of stuff. Good coaching, good confidence, good running attack, and an effective use of formations and personnel will get the job done.
Yeah, and also just Baker in a clean pocket is putting up tremendous numbers. He has 22 touchdowns, only 4 picks on the year, and posting a QBR rating of 114.1. Versus when he's under pressure, he's only throwing a touchdown, 4 picks, and his QBR is at a 37.9.
And that's exactly why Stefanski has been able to transform Baker. He's giving Baker a clear platform to succeed. Yes, Baker's gotten better. We're actually going to get into that now. But they're not asking Baker Mayfield to carry the team. They're not asking Baker Mayfield, hey, if you're not Patrick Mahomes, we're not going to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
They are just asking him to be Baker Mayfield. Make the throws you need to make, get your confidence up, and just not turn the ball over, convert on third down, just all this stuff that points to winning football. He doesn't need to throw for 400 yards to win games unless that second Ravens game where it's just, fireworks left and right. Okay, yeah, maybe you have to put up 400 yards to win that game. But
Yeah,
other than that,
crazy.
they've been doing really well. And a lot of that is on Baker Mayfield's improvement. And Chris Collinsworth actually pointed this out in the Monday Night Football broadcast that I went and looked into, and he was completely right, is that Baker's mechanics have drastically improved from the beginning of the season. And the thing I want to focus on is this front foot of Baker Mayfield's. You're going to see this is week 1 against the Ravens. And his mechanics are just a little bit too loose, a little bit too gunslinger, I'd like to call it. And look at this front foot. You see how it's just kind of all over the place? It just goes crazy, and he's opened it up a whole ton. With a more sidearm than 3/4 release. And you see that he puts this ball behind Odell Beckham that could have been a completion on a tight window throw. We look at his progression to last week against the Giants, primetime football, and just look at how much more clean his footwork is and how it's just a little bit more over the top of his release. It's nice, man. And the thing that Chris Collinsworth pointed out is that his front foot, I'll try and get it on a still image, is pigeon-toed. It's facing the sideline a little bit. It's not as opened up as it traditionally would be. See how it's pointed towards the sideline? Release coming way more over the top, not throwing on this back foot. It's just way more sound. And then we compare it to this throw, where it's all on his back foot. Not as over the top. Nowhere near as accurate. Obviously, Stefanski and this coaching staff has been improving and working on Baker's mechanics. Baker has been trying to improve and work on his mechanics, and it shows on the stat sheet. This is a guy that has been drastically increasing his completion percentage and quarterback rating the past couple of weeks. He has now, from that Giants game, second and third in franchise history in games with the highest completion percentage for the Browns. And he's making more tight window throws than ever. The other thing that you just have to point out is that Baker is way more confident when he throws the football. He's getting rid of the ball faster, and he's not taking the bait anymore. I hate to put it that way, but he was a quarterback coming in. Lincoln Riley said this about Baker Mayfield, is that he's the kind of guy that when he sees something once, he doesn't make the same mistake twice. And halfway through his third season, that is coming to fruition. He's seen a whole lot, and he's drastically improving. He just needed to go through the ringer a little bit.
Yeah.
So here's week 1 against the Ravens. Baker Mayfield had a pretty crap game. And you're going to see he has this out route open. He has this little sticks concept, right? He has it. And you see how he just hitches it right here. He doesn't want to throw it. his confidence, he's just not there. Baker Mayfield now hits this. But at the time, he just wasn't getting it out quick enough. He wasn't trusting his arm, his mechanics. He wasn't trusting the offense. I mean, this is week 1 in a COVID year with a new system, right? And then we saw classic Baker Mayfield trying to make things happen with his legs, right? That was the old Baker Mayfield. Let's get into the new Baker Mayfield under Kevin Stefanski. You're going to get here. This guy, one of these guys, I think it's actually him, is going to run a corner route and you're going to get an out route, right? Basic smash kind of concept. We're high-lowing Marcus Peters in this cover 3 look. And Baker Mayfield does a fantastic job of identifying Marcus Peters' leverage. So right here, you're high-lowing Marcus Peters. If he goes up to try and jump this out route, you hit it over the top. If he plays over the top, then you got an easy, well, not easy, because you got to throw it over this linebacker, under this corner, throw to David Njoku on the out route, right? Basic concept, high-low. Marcus Peters, this is probably a game plan thing as well with Stefanski and them, is a guy that loves to jump routes. He's always looking to try and read a quarterback's eyes and get an easy pick. That's who Marcus Peters is. And Baker Mayfield does a fantastic job of realizing that he's not committed to playing this corner route. He wants this interception on this out route. He wants Baker to throw this so he can jump it and make a big play for this defense. And you see here, he's just I'll replay it here, but he just stops a little bit. You see how he stops there and he wants to jump it? Well, Baker Mayfield realizes this and throws a perfect ball over the top to Peoples-Jones. This is the new Baker Mayfield, folks. Old Baker Mayfield probably doesn't see this.
Yeah.
You know, under pressure. No hesitation. Just fires it. This is the improvement of Baker Mayfield, the former number 1 overall pick and Heisman Trophy winner. This is the new confident Baker Mayfield. Not as cocky, still a little cocky, but way more confident than cocky.
Mm-hmm.
And credit to Kevin Stefanski, credit to Baker Mayfield himself, because he's obviously worked on this stuff during the season in a tough year.
Yeah, one more quick little stat on Baker. You hinted at it he's getting the ball out quicker. His time to throw on the first 5 weeks of the season, he was clocking at 3.22 seconds. Versus the last month or so, where you've really seen the Browns take off, he is a tick under 3 at 2.995 seconds.
It's almost a quarter of a second faster.
Yeah.
It may not seem like a lot, but in the NFL, that is the difference between completions and incompletions. And you can see that. His completion percentage has skyrocketed. His quarterback rating has skyrocketed. His confidence has skyrocketed. And the Browns, their record has skyrocketed as well as a result.
Yeah. The thing about Baker Mayfield is that, he's always played better under a chip on his shoulder. It dates back to his early days in college. I feel like when he walked on at Texas Tech, not many walk-ons get really a chance to play or whatever. He plays there, plays well, and then he transfers to Oklahoma. And he wins a starting job there, and rest was history. He gets number 1 overall pick. Rookie of the year, breaks the rookie touchdown passing record, and then last year with all the additions to the team, them sounding the buzz that the Browns are a Super Bowl. They're going to make the Super Bowl run, and they play horrible. They're not a good team. Baker's throwing picks left and right. And to where kind of people were just riding off Baker Mayfield this year and not believing in the Browns, it was able for him, in my eyes, to go back to that. To what got him there was to be that underdog, not be in the spotlight, prove some people wrong, and he's clearly doing it now with the Browns going to make the playoffs and possibly make it deeper in the playoffs.
it's just everything is going right now for this Browns team. And I think you were completely right, and you hit on that. The under Freddie Kitchens and even, yeah, it was mainly under Kitchens. You know, you were just hearing all the time, oh, Browns Super Bowl? Browns Super Bowl? They hadn't made the playoffs in the past 16 years. Why are you
Yeah.
talking about the Super Bowl? This year, you come in, people's expectations are lower. People are saying, oh, Baker Mayfield's not a franchise quarterback. He hasn't improved from year 1 to year 2. He can't play. Browns offense is nowhere near good enough. They have a good running attack, but that's about it. After week 1, they were saying the defense is one of the worst defenses in the league. This is exactly what the Browns needed. They needed everyone to keep doubting them. They needed to just be that underdog. And it's really worked. And now, I mean, people are still going to doubt them. But I really like what I'm seeing out of this Browns team, especially their offense.
I do too. It's great. I feel like the verbiage on franchise quarterbacks just kind of like, like I feel like everybody, whenever they think of franchise quarterbacks, they think of like Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson, which are like two generational talents. Like if you're going to put every franchise quarterback in their category, then there's not going to be many franchise quarterbacks. And you can win this game with different style quarterbacks. If it wants to be Lamar Jackson, where it's a run heavy team, if it's a Baker Mayfield where you have to put a system under him to succeed. But like at the end of the day, you can win games with these kind of quarterbacks. They don't have to be Patrick Mahomes doing the no look and all this stuff. And it brings you back to the Matthew Stafford point, because it coming out and still is Matthew Stafford talented than Baker Mayfield? Yeah. But they've got the coach right. They made the right additions and they got the scheme right. And Stafford's never had that, and Baker has that. And you see him being able to fulfill that number 1 overall pick with his numbers this year. And it's just, at the end of the day, like it comes down to like scheme and coaching and like the players inside that scheme, like understanding the concept. And if they do that, like it's really tough to beat, especially a team with like the best running back duo and Baker's growth throughout the season.
I mean, you're completely right. I don't understand the whole hate on quarterbacks in a good situation. Like, oh, well, Baker Mayfield's only succeeding because he has a good coach and good O-line. Like, okay, Patrick Mahomes has got all the same stuff too. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is ridiculous, but the fact of the matter is that to be a really top tier quarterback, you need to be in a good system. This is the NFL. You're only as strong as your weakest link in football. And Stefanski has tailored the offense towards Baker Mayfield's strengths. They're getting him out of the pocket more now. And it's not like everything is wide open. It's not like it's just sunshine and roses out here for the Browns. He's still making great plays. Like on that high-low concept. There are plenty of the quarterbacks in the league that wouldn't make that throw. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger against the Bengals probably wouldn't have made that throw because he was playing like crap.
Yeah.
There are plenty of quarterbacks that aren't as confident, and the Browns are hot, and right now is the time to get hot.